I think when you make drastic, permanent changes to your appearance, your face now becomes a monument to the insecurities you let control you.
It's just tough though, bro, because literally it is like I had said earlier, when an attractive person complains about how ugly they are or about how the insecurities they have, compared to someone who's born, bro, just genuinely they're chopped and there's no hope. I don't know if we could be telling those people to just accept themselves for who they are, bro. It's good. It sounds good on paper, but realistically, if you were that person, bro, and you just look like you just crawled on the earth, bro, like, I honestly don't know what I would tell you, bro. I'm just, I hate to say it, but it's just luck of the draw that I wasn't born as one of them people. You could say I'm not the prettiest person, but I sure is heck ain't the ugliest. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I hate to say that, bro, because it's kind of like, well, I'm thankful for that. Sucks to be them, am I right? But we not giving them no solution for real. Like, bro, I think me and you are ugly. Video by David Achu. Now, I don't know who he talking to. Cause me, I don't think I'm ugly, bro. It's some days I look good and there's some days I don't, I look less good. I ain't gonna say I ever look ugly, but it just depend on what day you catch me, my boy. But you never gonna catch me looking OD chopped. That's what I will say, but I feel like bro is saying that might be his circumstance. So no, not me and you, bro. That's not the case. But if you feel that way, I'm here to listen to what you guys say. So let's let you take it away. Hey, you see the rhymes? Okay, let's get straight to the bit.
The other day I was doing my morning routine of spending 40 minutes looking for the perfect YouTube video to start the day with, and for some reason I kept getting a bunch of videos on how to get a better physique and face, like over and over. And at first I thought my algorithm was just being mean, but then I remembered, oh yeah, today is January. When setting goals for the year, many people have some kind of goal relating to their appearance. Maybe they want to lose weight or gain weight or start a new fitness plan or a new face routine, or they're finally going to commit to counting calories this year, but then 2 hours into it, you're trying to decide if you use 2/3 or 3/4 of a tablespoon of peanut butter in your breakfast smoothie, and you decide to never do this again. Who eats 7/8 of anything? There's nothing wrong with trying to look better. How you look influences how people perceive you and treat you, so it makes sense to be concerned about it to a degree. I'm also aware that I'm an extremely average looking man. Some of you may argue lower, and that's fine. I'm not arguing that caring about your looks is pointless. I am arguing that it gets to a point where trying to maximize one's looks crosses a line from self-improvement to unhealthy fixation. And I'm noticing this more and more.
Y'all heard of that bone smashing little thing, bro? That boy clavicular, my fault, Kai. You know what your name is, bro. You know what your name is. That boy, bro, he'll literally take a sharp object and literally break his bones or like chip them hoes and then hope that they grow back stronger so that it's more like prominent when they heal. And it's like, bro, at a certain point, this ain't self-improvement, bro. This is self-torture. We gotta stop. We gotta recognize what is and what ain't, bro. You heard me?
Men. From surgeries to substance abuse to incredibly toxic online discussion, the male beauty standard is morphing into a dangerous obsession where looks are viewed as the most important thing in life. Decades of telling women to be obsessed with beauty and then being mad that women are obsessed with beauty, now that's totally normal and okay. Now TikTok says men have to wash their face. I will not tolerate this! I'm a video essay commentary person, so this video is
the desire to be beautiful. I feel like everybody experiences that because if you are attractive, people want to be around you or people acknowledge you. They give you validation, and being accepted by others is what makes us feel good ultimately, if you don't already have that internal self-acceptance. But even if you got that, external validation feels good, so I'm not going to act like it doesn't, but it is not the end all be all. But the main reason why people will acknowledge a person, the thing that you only got to try for, oftentimes, is if you just look good. People automatically going to want to be around you. They're going to think good things about you. So just looking good is setting yourself up for a good life. But the thing about it is, you got a base looks threshold, right? You can improve that hoe. You can go down on that John. But if your ceiling is not as high as someone else's because they started higher on the totem pole than you, so your max is kind of like they lowest point, there's a degree of that as well. So life ain't really fair. Some people is born looking real good while others is born looking real bad, or somewhere in the middle, which most people fall on. But yeah, bro, I feel like that is the main reason why one might obsess over wanting to be beautiful, and why it's not always fair. We got to accept that reality.
Supposed to start with me talking about how the ancient beauty standard got developed and how the ancient Egyptians would use berries to make makeup, and that the modern beauty standard is based on Eurocentric ideals dating back as far as the 16th century. I don't care. Is that stuff true? Yeah, probably. Is hearing all of that gonna explain all your insecurities away? Probably not. I'm not going to be using any 15-syllable words, nor am I going to be using the word nuance. Video essayists use it way too much. I barely know what it means, and I spell it like this every time. I'm not gonna sit here and explain what pretty is. Okay, we know. But also, I'm not gonna lie and say there's no pattern to beauty. Really, beauty is just a matter of your location.
They say symmetry on your face is what makes you look good.
And time period. Your culture and upbringing have a heavy influence on your interpretation of what it means to be pretty. When I was a young boy, I too wanted to be pretty. But as a child, I got all my beauty standards from the Disney Channel. And at that time, everybody on here was white. And for some reason, these were the coolest guys in town. And so naturally, as a child, there were brief moments in time where I wanted to be white, just briefly.
I feel like a lot of people did, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. When I was making my me avatar on the Wii, bro, I made bro white. I made him mad Caucasian. I made the whole fam Caucasian. I said, this what we doing, y'all. Not even realizing that was kind of crazy, but it didn't come from a place like that. It was just, that's what you grew up seeing. That's what you see. You see all them bulls, they look good. Whoa, pause. They, you know what I'm saying? They look, you know what I'm saying, attractive to the girls on the show. They getting all the girls, and they the cool bulls, and they just getting everything that you would want as a person. So literally, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna look like he if I'm building my ideal person, right? So yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy. I feel like a lot of black people went through that arc themselves. Some people might not admit it, but I feel like a lot of people did.
As a kid, I wanted silky smooth white boy hair, and I thought that the only reason I couldn't get it was that my barber was using some kind of voodoo to always make sure that my hair was a textured 4C. I figured if I got my hair wet enough and I used the child pair of scissors I got from Staples, I could make all my dreams come true. It didn't work. It just made me look dumb for 3 weeks, and my mother was not happy about that.
Golly.
Also, this isn't a picture of me. This is a stock image. What do you think, all black people look the same? Racist! But there is no universal definition.
I mean, you put a caption that's actually you, bruh.
Of beauty, because if there was, the beauty standard wouldn't change over time, but it does. And it appears to be getting more and more extreme. If you look back a few decades ago, people who were considered to be the prettiest in society were astonishingly normal looking. In the 50s, people were just rounder. Now being pretty means having so many sharp angles. And while this may be bad for them as human beings or whatever, it's great for shareholder value. Did you think of that? Insecure people are very profitable. When you're convinced that you're lacking in some way, it's very easy to sell you a solution that promises to fill that lack. It's like when Listerine basically said that bad breath is a disease and that their mouthwash is the cure, or when De Beers popularized diamond engagement rings. Because why would you invest in your future as a couple when you could buy her a shiny rock that costs 2 months' salary instead? Do you hate her? It's the same with beauty. If all you can think of is a feature of your appearance that you don't like, and I'm selling a product that promises to get rid of it, why wouldn't you buy it? But largely, this is a problem that has more affected women. I had to watch a lot of videos on the beauty standard and societal pressures to be beautiful, and every time I watched those videos, it was very obvious I was not the intended demographic. At the end of the day, what you look like is only a small part of you.
Hey, what we doing, bruh? Man, what we doing, man?
Get some really good points. And you need to decenter men because you are a proud, fearless female woman with feminine energy inside and out. A man would never be caught dead watching a video like this. I feel like I'm not supposed to be here. Menstruation, am I right? But there's been increasing pressure for men to be beautiful, especially in the age of social media. All of us want to feel good about how we look, but even more important than personal contentment.
I like what he highlighted earlier. He said something along the lines of how women had such a pressure to be beautiful, and now men are mad that they're so obsessed with being beautiful, which means, or what I interpreted it as was, they want a partner that looks good to them too, which is like, of course, they was told so long that beauty is everything. Once they start believing it, niggas get mad because they don't look as good. It's just like, it only makes sense, bro. So I understand why it's a thing, but you know what I'm saying? Niggas crashing out about it. That's not the way to go, bro. You just gotta find who think you that, and that's it. You could, you know what I'm saying, see somebody you attractive to, go up to them. If they not messing with you, okay, cool, on to the next. Don't force nobody, bro. You know what I mean? That's how you end up in jail with Sean Combs. Yeah.
with our appearance. The validation of strangers and mild acquaintances would also be nice. Posting on Instagram is the most stressful first world problem in my life. I spend 20 minutes trying to come up with the perfect arrangement of photos and then also a clever caption, and then I also have to pick a background song that's not too mainstream but also not too indie that it becomes weird in a bad way. So I have to find the perfect medium. Malcolm Todd. Then I post it and lie to myself saying, I don't care what other people say, I just wanted to express this to the world. It's not about people's attention. I am a purely beloved man and everyone adores me. And it feels like that for a few hours, but then later one of your homegirls posts and she's prettier than you, and then you look at the likes that she gets and you're like, oh, never mind. How do you even know this many people? And in addition, many guys have convinced themselves that they will never find love.
I don't think I've gotten over 100 likes on a single Instagram post, bruh.
Unless they reach unreal levels of attractiveness. So what are they to do? Well, they could accept themselves as they are and find other measures of being a worthwhile person. Or
looksmaxxing.
According to Merriam-Webster,
I feel like every man knows what that is, bruh.
Slang dictionary.
If you was online, at least some boys, if you look good enough, yeah, you don't care about this hoe because you just got so many women throwing themselves at you. You don't got time to look at your phone for a second. It's not optimal. It wouldn't make sense. You would be actively missing out on your me cracking. Like, yeah.
Looksmaxxing is simply defined as efforts, sometimes extreme, young men take to look more attractive. But that's putting it lightly. Looksmaxxing is more of an online community that doesn't have the best reputation. At its extremes, the community is associated with misogynistic ideologies and some dangerous propaganda, teaching things like looks are the only thing that truly matters and that being ugly is the worst thing you can be in life and that your life is meaningless unless you can find a way to be pretty. Also, a lot of them seem to be really interested in Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. No, I've never seen it, but that movie's about a serial killer, right? He like murdered people?
It gets to a point, bro, where it's just mad men in a Reddit forum obsessing over, like he said, Patrick Bateman. It's like, if you don't look like this guy, you're chopped. And it's like, bro, we did all this so we could get girls, my man. In the process of doing all that, did you start liking men? Like, why are you so obsessed with Patrick Bateman, bro? And if you like men, bro, shout out to you, my boy. Round of applause. But let's not get the plot misconstrued. This is what we came here for. If you find something else along the way, great. It's the journey, not the destination that counts, like they say, right? But let's remember what the goal was.
Until they were dead? Really, it's hard to imagine why someone would want to be anywhere near a group like this. Whoa! Who is this? Did Michelangelo carve him? He be my dad? What? There's some key players known in the looksmaxxing community. There's John and Mike Mew, a father and son orthodontist pair known for popularizing mewing, which is a series of tongue and mouth exercises that's supposedly supposed to sharpen the jawline. There's Clavicular, who's known for using his body as an active science experiment in the never-ending quest to be as attractive as possible.
My whole regimen is as follows. For the gym, I'm taking testosterone every single day. I take minoxidil for my hair. I take dutasteride for my hair. I also take Accutane. I use crystal
meth. He takes meth, amphetamines. But probably the most notable is Kareem Shami, considered by many to be the poster child of TikTok's
Don't know, bro. At least I'm not that chronically online. I only recognize 1 out of 3 people mentioned.
Community. First things first, if they had to pick a leader, someone who would be preaching about how important it is to be looking good at all times, he's got the qualifications. Objectively, just well done, sir. Good for you. I think he summarizes the philosophy and ideology behind looksmaxxing the best.
And why do guys care so much about their looks in 2025?
Because they have no choice but to do so. They're invisible amongst other guys that they're competing with. They're feeling this through the way they're being treated. What makes one guy better than the other guy if they both have the same personality and they both have money? What's gonna differentiate them from one another? What's something that's priceless and rare? Good genes, and the dedication to maximize those genes.
From what I understand, looksmaxxers consider themselves to be helping the facially challenged and men in general. But whereas traditional methods of helping young people with their looks might involve telling them, you don't have to be insecure, there's nothing wrong with you. Looksmaxxers take a slightly different approach. Yeah, no, there's a lot of reasons for you to be insecure. I actually wrote them down in an easily accessible spreadsheet. You want it? It's like having insecurities on hard mode.
Yeah, and looksmaxxing goes hand in hand with red pill, because the red pill, the idea behind it is learning what the truth actually is. And in their opinions, the truth is that you're chopped, and in order to get girls and to live a good life, you need to fix that. You know what I'm saying? So oftentimes red pillars, they're the ones that often do take part very heavily in looksmaxxing.
It's a bunch of different names for different features you didn't even know you had. It's so many words. From simple terms like angularity, how sharp you look, to more niche measurements such as cervicomental angle. There's no way I said that right. That's the angle between the neck and the chin. And things you didn't even know could be measured, like palpable fissure ratio, which is the height and width of the space between.
Man, we in too deep, bro. We in too deep. We in way too deep, man.
Between your open eyelids, and the measurements just keep going from there. You got eyebrow thickness, skin clarity, nasolabial folds, canthal tilt, zygomatic arch projection, and like 40 other ones. But it's to help people. It's all for the good. We're doing a good thing. They have tutorials and courses and TikToks and forums, which are mainly comprised of a bunch of teenage boys who really are not good for each other. In looksmaxxing, there are two genres.
If you buy a looksmaxxing course, I thought that was a course. I think it was just a link to a forum, but it might be a course in there somewhere. I'm not going cap, but if you get a looksmaxxing course, bro, just come on, bro. Just work on your personality at that point, bro. Get in the gym, drink water, you mean, face care, you mean, and then get some sleep, bro. Come on, you don't need nothing else besides that, bro.
Maxing, which would include things like facial care, massages, eating well, going to the gym, sleeping more, otherwise known as being a healthy human being, but for men, you know? Then there's hard maxing, which includes cosmetic surgeries, drugs, expensive procedures. You see, Gen Z's approach to aging is very different from other generations. While older people would rather wait until they're already wrinkly before they start to look into Botox, Gen Z would rather risk nerve damage than look a day older than 17. Preventative measures are becoming increasingly common among plastic surgeons. The American Academy of Facial, Plastic, and Reconstructive Surgery reports that 75% of plastic surgeons have seen a spike in clients under the age of 30. And this is possibly one of the many factors contributing to why people on the internet are convinced that Gen Z is aging terribly. There were so many videos on it. Is it because there's some kind of dangerous chemical in the air that's making us age at a faster rate? I don't know, probably, but also they keep sucking the fat out of their faces. There's a procedure that's grown in popularity over the past few years, buccal fat removal.
Buccal fat removal is essentially removing the fat from your cheeks, but more specifically, it is the surgical removal of the buccal fat pad that we naturally have between our cheekbones and our jawlines. The buccal fat reduction surgery aims to correct prominent or chubby cheek.
It's partially become so popular because it's become more accessible than it ever has. Buccal fat removal can take as little as an hour and cost about $2,000 to get done.
Oh, wow.
Which is a lot
That's
of
not
money.
bad.
But listen, that's one nice computer or one bad used car. It's within range. And I won't lie, I think it works for some people, but for others it reaches uncanny valley territory. But that's a rather small procedure. There are a lot more complicated and invasive procedures such as rhinoplasties, genioplasties, implants, leg lengthening surgeries.
The thing about me is I do have a fat face or a wide jaw, a wide bone structure on my face, but my face do be looking around sometimes. And I was doing intense cardio to try to get rid of that, but then I realized, no, bruh, it's just my jaw. Like, I can't do nothing for real, you know that. But at the end of the day, buccal fat removal, I was just thinking, if I wanted to fix something, that would probably be it, but I'm not going that far. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think I ever want to do that, bro. The most I might do, I don't know, is just go to Turkey and get the hair transplant. That might be the most I do, bro.
And these things easily can cost tens of thousands.
Because I'm more so about accepting yourself for who you are, but I understand it does get to a certain point, bro. If you balding at like 10 years old. Now, I'm not advocating for 10-year-olds to get on that plane, but if you still balding by the age of like 18, yeah, you could get on that plane, bro.
Thousands of dollars.
Go ahead,
my
man.
question is, what's the end goal here? If you have a rubric for any assignment, that's because hypothetically you could get 100% and get a perfect assignment. So if there are rating systems explaining objectively why you're ugly, it would make sense that there is some hypothetical peak of human looks. So what is the perfect face and why is it so sharp? Again, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with wanting to look better, but I think it's weird when you stop making beauty an intuitive thing and instead a standardized system that if you don't line up to, you're less than, because I don't think that's healthy. And now some of you may argue that it's not that big a deal and you should just let people do what they want. Okay. Counter argument. Bone smashing.
Bone smashing is amazing, but
What is that?
So it's where you're gonna punch yourself in the face, like, you know. So I know it sounds crazy.
Yeah,
just
bro.
Bear with me here.
If
So,
even Sneeko's looking at you sideways, you doing something wrong, bro. Something very wrong.
you're gonna brace your head and you punch yourself in the face.
Come on, bro.
You know know how every 10 years society decides whether or not baggy jeans or skinny jeans are in and the other one is gross and should never be seen again? Buccal fat removal may be in now, but it's not gonna be forever, and by the time it falls out of fashion, you're gonna end up looking worse than when you started. The problem with the procedure is one of the things that people try and look for when identifying a young person is fat in the face. A plump, taut face is a young person's face. So a hollow face might be considered attractive now, but it's always been considered elderly. And that's because as you age, the fat in your face naturally deteriorates and leaves you with that hollowed out look. So if you strip the fat out of the face when you're already young, by the time you get old, you're just gonna look worse, and by then, it's far too late to change anything.
It's different about fashion. You can put on a different shirt. You can't exactly reverse these surgical procedures. So let's just say you had the buccal fat removal, 10 years have gone by, and you're not happy with how hollowed out you look, and you're like, okay, I want to get a fat transfer, or I want to get some filler. So any changes that you make into the cheek area is always going to be into the more superficial compartment, so it's never going to look quite the same.
But really, any facial procedure or makeup or routine that's meant for old people is just gonna...
Yeah, I'm cool, bro. Just because those procedures, they're irreversible, I'm good, man. I'd rather just stick with the before, man, because if the after is trash and you can't reverse it, you're going to start missing that before, man. I'm telling you.
Make you look like an old person. Remember that guy we were talking about earlier that casually does math? He loves numbers. Yeah, he's 20. This guy is a year younger than me. So it's particularly concerning that a lot of looksmaxxers are a bunch of teenage boys who are still changing in their appearance, and while that's happening, they're sticking needles and products in and on their face. Like, bro, your face hasn't even finished loading yet. Give it a minute. But beyond the aesthetics, I think there's a much bigger mental health concern. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would staring at myself for several hours a day in the mirror looking for microscopic flaws in my appearance put me at greater risk for developing a disorder where I'm obsessed with my appearance? That doesn't make any sense. I did everything right. It really annoys me when models and other obviously pretty people have insecurities and think that they're ugly.
Some days you can feel like truly so conceited and obnoxiously confident, and then all it takes is like someone saying one thing that just strikes a chord in you to be like, I'm actually the ugliest person ever exists.
Because if you're ugly, what do you think I am? Dog water? But then you think about how if your job...
Literally, like, bro, even saying that's since somebody looks more attractive than you, it is kind of like, it do seem kind of like condescending when they're like, oh, I'm so ugly. When all they did, if a bull who was swimming in nothing but, like, you mean, bro, coochie, bro, if he was swimming in nothing but that and he said, man, I'm ugly, man. I'd be like, man, if you ugly, man, I'll take it, cuz, man. With the first pick in the draft, I choose you to be, bro. Change now. I'll be on some Captain Ginyu type timing with you, bro. You could be me. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't said what you think about me. So you could figure that out later once you in my body. No diddy. But yeah, bro, come on now. But at the end of the day, though, everybody got insecurities. Just because you think they look better than you don't mean that they don't got the right to, you know what I'm saying, voice their complaints or their thoughts. Like, let them rock.
I am dog water? But then you think about how if your job was to look pretty at all times, then having insecurities has to be amplified to like 10. And unlike skills or talent, looks are pretty much determined at birth, and there's very little you can do to change it unless we go into extreme territory. It's not about reaching a goal, it's about staring at an unattainable standard. And while it might not be the same thing, there's probably a similar psychology for a 15-year-old boy who keeps watching TikTok edits of two dudes who have millions of views, and the only reason it seems to be so is because they're both attractive and there's funk music playing in the background. But at least the models are getting paid to develop an eating disorder. You're just doing it for free. And on top of that, there has to be a line before taking pride in your appearance starts to cross into ethical concern territory. It's the ship of Theseus. At what point do you keep changing parts of your appearance until you no longer are you? Because it's one thing to wash your face and try different haircuts and glasses and other accessories and to see what kind of styles you like, but to change something that you're born with, that's natural to your face, removing fat, adding fat, reconstructing things, you're losing yourself. Now, I have a friend who considers herself to be dark-skinned, and she was telling me about a friend of hers who was considering using skin lightening cream. And as she was telling me this, I was sitting there like, something's not quite white here, but I can't quite put my finger on it. And later that night, I called her and I asked her, are you thinking about using the cream? And she was like, yeah. And it threw me off because I thought that was weird, because if she did that, it wouldn't be her. In my head, it wasn't about whether she would look better or worse or the racial implications of that, which I didn't want to get into. It was really just about, it wouldn't look like you. I want my friend to look like my friend. There's nothing wrong with you, I don't think you should do that. So I told her that, and she decided not to. So I'm basically a hero and an advocate for women. It was so weird, you know, in that moment I became 6'4" and a Colleen Hoover book just materialized into my hand. It was crazy. I think when you make drastic, permanent changes to your appearance, your face now becomes a monument to the insecurities you let control you. Chad is not the only way to be pretty, because when you act like he is, you have a bunch of
it's just tough though, bro, because literally it is like I had said earlier, when an attractive person complains about how ugly they are or about how the insecurities they have, compared to someone who's born, bro, just genuinely they're chopped and there's no hope. I don't know if we could be telling those people to just accept themselves for who they are, bro. It's good. It sounds good on paper, but realistically, if you were that person, bro, and you just look like you just crawled on the earth, bro, like you not even from this world, somehow you just crawled on this John. Like, I honestly don't know what I would tell you, bro. I'm just, you know, I hate to say it, but it's just luck of the draw that I wasn't born as one of them people. You could say I'm not the prettiest person, but I sure is heck ain't the ugliest. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I hate to say that, bro, because it's kind of like, well, I'm thankful for that. Sucks to be them, am I right? But we not giving them no solution for real. Like, what are they supposed to do? I really do wonder.
Didn't start out looking anything alike, but because they all did the same procedures from the same doctors in the same TikTok videos, they all start to homogenize into the same looking humanoid being. You don't all have to look the same. There is beauty in diversity. Oh, yes, of course, please, do clap. Yes, I'm a hero. This is like when a comedian states a basic fact of morality and gets a standing ovation. Yes, cheer me! In making this video, I've been staring at a lot of perfect faces, and I'm tired. Can we bring the pudgy people back? It's not appealing that all these people look the same. They all look the same. It's like going to a museum and every single painting and portrait has exactly the same style. This isn't fun. It's not just that. Really, it's knowing that this was an active choice. Like, you paid to look this way. That's not cool. It's like when you accidentally like a mainstream pop song and now I feel like an average consumer. What's next? My favorite soda is Coca-Cola. I drive a Toyota Corolla. My chances of dying due to gun violence are alarmingly high. But even if there were no major physical, health, or ethical concerns, this mindset is just kind of lame. The competitiveness of the looksmaxxing community is very addictive. I was reading this article of a guy who got rated by a looksmaxxer. I just remember reading the article and thinking to myself, I'm more attractive than this guy, right? Oh my...
You got caught in a trap.
Myself in timeout. It's got to be some kind of disease to constantly be comparing your facial features to other people. Dr. Stuart Murray, director of the...
See, that's the thing, bruh. Like, I ain't gonna lie, right? I ain't gonna lie. You're not even choosing to have those thoughts. It's just informed by everything that you do. You know what I'm saying? Your lifestyle. So you don't actively choose to have that thought pop into your head, but the way you live is making that jump pop into your head. It's a subconscious thing. It's not a conscious thing. It's subconscious. And you got to realize that if it's really not you, there's no reason for you to get mad at that, John. Just don't abide by that thought. That's where the separation happens. That's when the freedom happens. And I feel like that's where the true clarity happens. You know what I'm saying? Because once you stop identifying every single thing that flies into your head as your own thought, because if you feel like you shouldn't be having them thoughts, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get mad at yourself and try to change something that you can't even change for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Instead, accept them thoughts, accept that you ultimately have the decision whether or not you want to follow those thoughts, and then move accordingly. You know what I'm saying?
Disorders program at the University of Southern California once said, if you're diluting yourself down to a number or a skin tone or an angular tilt of your face, it reduces your value as a person. And playing this game of trying to max out your numbers to gain XP, extra validation points, whatever you want to call it, this isn't gonna make you happy. Then again, this was never about happiness. It was about obsession. I have to do this and I can't focus on anything else until it's done. I have to defeat the final boss. This is the only thing that matters.
There's a lot of factors. Looking good will impact your life on every single level. When you're constantly scrolling on your For You page and you're seeing these people that are getting careers out of nowhere for the way that they look, or they're getting respect, a higher pay, better academics, opportunities. All of that seems to stem from one thing, and it's looks. Looks can change the quality of your life. it's night and day.
Is there merit to what he's saying?
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, the halo effect, it is a thing. People do treat you better if you appear to be better in your looks or your dressing or whatever it may be. There is some societal advantage, but I think that advantage is getting over-exaggerated. For example, a lot of guys think that they can never find love unless they look drop-dead gorgeous. Yeah, I don't think it's crazy to say that looks are important to make a first impression. But again, first impressions is just getting your foot in the door. Your personality is what keeps you in the room. I can't tell you how many
I just feel like a lot of dudes want that type of love where they don't even gotta try for it. The women just fall in their lap. Like, it feels like if you gotta work for it, if you gotta try extra hard, if you gotta win the girl, as opposed to her just choosing you, it's kind of like, oh, what does that say about me? Am I not worthy of that type of love? And that's a whole nother spiral we could get into, but I definitely understand what he's saying. It's not the fact that they're thinking they can't get love. They just want a certain type of love.
I thought I was in love with someone because they said one thing that vibed with me perfectly. Yeah, I think Jacob Collier gets a lot of hate for no reason. He's a great artist. Huh? My sisters will tell you, every time I had a crush growing up and I would show them a picture of the girl, they would be more than happy to tell me that she was very mid. Their words, not mine. And then I'd have to hit them with, she's very gorgeous to me! But even if we were to suppose that your appearance was the most important thing about you, and it is the #1 factor that's going to influence your overall quality of life, there are so many more things we can do to influence it that involve almost no needles. Well, maybe a few needles. Sewing needles. Look, here's what we're gonna do.
Find some pants that fit.
I'm convinced that unless you have 100 pounds of fat to lose, or you start going into the hard maxing territory with surgeries and intense procedures and routines, the maximum you can increase your looks is about like 25%. At the end of the day, you're gonna look basically the way you look now, with one thing different. It's like when you buy like a facial cleanser or something and you think it's gonna change your bone structure. No, it's just gonna give you slightly less oily skin. You're pretty much always gonna look like you. So I don't think it's worth the extra mental effort and stress to absolutely maximize that hypothetical potential.
Yeah,
so I
bro,
think it's a better
tough.
investment to do basic facial maintenance and then focus on all the other parts of appearance and first impressions that don't have to do with simply your physical looks. When you look at a person and you look at how they style their hair or what accessories they're wearing or what clothes they're wearing, where they got them from, how old the clothes are, how well they fit, all of these things tell a story about the person. These people here lead very different lives, and you know that just by how they're dressed. You can maybe guess what they do for fun, what they do for work, what stage of life they're in. Their clothes aren't just clothes, they're telling a story. Fashion isn't just about clothing yourself or picking the most expensive thing off the rack. If you do it well enough, it can really be its own art form.
Don't you know that you were working at the place that published some of the greatest artists of the century? Halston, Lagerfeld, De La Renta. And what they did, what they created, was greater than art. Because you live your life in it.
That being said, most people consider fashion to be more
that's
of
tough.
a feminine
Okay.
interest, which kind of makes sense because
but I
there's
see
a
what you
lot
did.
more options for dressing for women than compared to men. But even with a limited selection, men's clothing can still be creative. And yet, most men don't try very hard at all with their outfits, which is interesting because throughout history, that wasn't always the case. If you look back through different cultures, men's clothing was a lot more intricate and had a lot more colors and more silhouettes and was just more interesting to look at. Even 100 years ago, when men's
Them fits was weak though. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Where the cargo pants at, man?
high fashion
Come
was
on now.
essentially just wearing a black suit, it was still more interesting than what you find today. I was at the Smithsonian Portrait Gallery the other day, and I was walking through all the portraits of the presidents, and again, they were all wearing black suits, but they were really nice suits. Wow. Look at him. Perfect. Is that a suit cape? Is that a thing? That's just beautiful. Yeah. Wait, wasn't he racist? So what happened to men's fashion? There are a few ideas out there. Here's one that I found that I think makes sense.
The great male renunciation.
In the 18th century, I guess being rich was like super boring, and the only way to feel something when you own more dollars than there are seconds in a decade is to wear completely unnecessary and outrageous outfits. I don't do any hard labor in any part of my life. I wear 3-foot wigs, long capes, and leggings, man. It took me 9 hours to put this on. I have so much free time. Like, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Poor people.
It's crazy how much the word masculinity or masculine has changed over such a long span of time, bro. Literally whatever century you're in, that masculine word has a completely different definition. We got bulls wearing powder wigs, his face mad fat, he got 2 chins, and he wearing stockings like the bull said, and he wearing a dress almost. Like if we wore this today, bro, we would be I don't even know. Yeah, you're not getting seen as a man. That's all I'm saying.
Don't smile like that. But then at some point, the peasants got mad at all the rich people and became a bunch of French Patrick Bavens. And so to look extravagantly rich probably wasn't the best idea anymore. So men overall started to dress more like the everyman, which even by today's standards, is still pretty dripped out. There was also influences from the Age of Enlightenment and from the Industrial Revolution, where clothes became more functional instead of fashionable. Yada yada yada. The point is, you're gonna live your life without enjoying the simple pleasure of being one of the best dressed people in the room? And why? Because the French said you can't? The moral of the story isn't to start dressing like this because, again, this was all based on showing off excess wealth, and of course, this looks ridiculous, but would it kill you to wear a blazer every now and then? When you dress better, you feel better, you carry yourself a different way. These are things that are subtly noticed by other people, and frankly, even if they're not, you'll notice the difference. Once you find the perfect pair of pants, it will change you, and if you don't agree with that statement, you have never worn pants properly a day in your life. The first day I found pants that fit so good I didn't need a belt, I cried. Plus, looks are mostly genetic, but style is a skill. No matter who you are, you can develop a sense of fashion. As a guy, it really isn't that hard to be the best dressed man in the room because a lot of times the other guys aren't even trying. I've been complimented for my outfits at school a number of times, and it's not because I'm wearing anything crazy, it's because 90% of engineering majors dress like this on a daily basis. It's not that hard to win the marathon when half the competition is asleep at the starting line. To be clear, I would never consider myself to be an authority on this. I'm not nearly at that level. In my humble opinion, if you were trying to up your style and overall appearance, here's what I'd start with. Alright, I have to put this disclaimer out there before we start. You're awesome. And these are just my personal opinions.
Low key, bro, I would say a big part of it too is getting in shape, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're in shape and then you wear clothes that are perfectly tailored towards you, they're showing your biceps, you know what I'm saying, your chest. If you got some, literally, no. If you got strong legs, bro, wear baggy pants. If you wear skinny jeans with some, you mean, bro, big thighs, you gonna look like a rotisserie chicken, my boy. So don't even go there, you know what I'm saying? Don't even do that. But literally up top, if you in shape, well, first step, try to get in shape, right? And then wear fitted clothes up top, maybe some baggy joint on the bottom, maybe some fitted pants on the bottom too. It don't gotta be OD baggy, as long as it ain't showing your muscle definition down there too. And then maybe get you a jacket, you know what I'm saying? A drippy jacket from a show you like, a color you like to wear, a design you just like in general. Get you some cologne, boy. Get you maybe a hat, some hat accessories, get some earrings and stuff like that, bro. You doing it big. Some shoes too. Get you some shoes you like. The shoes don't even gotta be that crazy neither. As long as they go with the fit, you good. But you know what I'm saying? Jordans, newbies, some Nike shoes, FUBU, like whatever you thinking, man. Just throw that joint on. You feel me? It's all about color coordination, finding what color suits your skin, and finding fitting clothes for yourself. And then just leaning into that vibe. You know what I'm saying? Wearing that joint confidently, but it do gotta look good on you. So like, I ain't gonna lie, if you look a certain way, you try to wear a certain type of fit, if it don't look right, it just don't look right at the end of the day. But we gonna let my man take it away.
You don't have to do anything I'm saying. You do you, King. All right, cool. Now that I've said the magic words, if you can't grow a beard, stop whatever this is. Cut it out, remove it, admit defeat, and move on with your life. We can all see that whatever this is isn't working,
that's
and
disgusting.
It's embarrassing. Next, you gotta learn how to buy good clothes. Oh, but I don't have that much money. Good, we like a challenge, don't we? Expensive clothes doesn't mean good clothes. And if you own anything that's covered in logos, burn it. You're gonna download Pinterest, go on it for 9 hours, see what you like, then go to your nearest thrift store and try and recreate everything you saved. Set aside an afternoon, get a tape measure, learn your sizes, and my God, son, get some pants that fit.
Hello. If you can't dress well cheaply, then you can't dress well at all. And today, we're doubling down. This past weekend, I went home thrifting in Connecticut. So now let's make an entire outfit for less than $50.
Okay. These are some videos I would watch if I were building my wardrobe and style from scratch. And the difference between doing all of this...
See, that fit cool, but it's just not my swag, bro.
Videos I would watch if
but it's a good fit.
We're building my wardrobe and style from scratch. And the difference between doing all of this and chewing on plastic to get a sharper jawline is, one, this will actually work. Second, it's a form of self-expression. And lastly, putting effort into the things you're wearing shows a silent self-respect. And people can sense it. Trust me, there are few compliments that feel better than somebody acknowledging that you have good style. Yeah, I have a Pinterest board. You know, you dress like you do. Huh? All right, next up, wash your face. I won't lie, my skincare routine is a bit overkill, but you just need 3 things.
Yeah, that's
cleanser,
OD.
a moisturizer, and a sunscreen.
You know he doing good though. You see them Jones look like they Korean. He doing real good. Them Korean skincare Jones. Oh yeah, they'll get you right.
Overkill, but you just need 3 things: a cleanser, a moisturizer, and a sunscreen. So do that, eat healthy enough, go to sleep, and start exercising if you don't already. I know, you might think going to the gym is scary and intimidating, but it's really not all that weird. Do I need a personal trainer? Do I need a meal plan? Do I need to bring my own tripod, or will one be provided for me? Do I have to join one of those Zumba classes for 45-year-old women in the middle of the workday? No. Watch 2 Jeff Nippard videos and you'll be fine. Getting into shape is not complicated. It's
Shout out Jeff Nippard.
Something that's simple and hard for a long time. Lastly, you might want to look into getting a fragrance, but I'm not the guy to be asking about that. I just went on Amazon, searched cologne, and bought the first thing that came up. Also, I don't take fragrances
Nautica
seriously
Voyage.
because all the commercials
That
are
John is so like played out, bruh.
stupid. And every time I see the words eau de toilette, I always read it as ew, the toilet.
Yeah, you gotta get the eau de parfum. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my boy Ichia from Fairy Tail. The way he be saying that, John. In the Japanese, of course. He be like, you know what I'm saying? Where's the sound effect that goes right with this right here? There it is. He be like, parfum. That John tough, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I like that, you know what I'm saying? But whenever you get some cologne, make sure it says eau de parfum, which means it's gonna last way longer, you know what I'm saying?
But there are some guys that'll argue that looking good in clothes is mostly about the physique. You know, you gotta get the big arms, the big chest, all the perfect.
That's a big part of it, because once you look good, once your body is good, your frame is good, you could wear a black tee and some pants, bro, that fit tough, like no cap, bro. A big part of it is finding clothes that fit you. But also sometimes you gotta fit yourself into them clothes, boy. If you look like a meatball, I don't think no clothes is gonna save you, my man.
It's not gonna look good unless you have muscles. Then get the muscles, bro. No, but not everybody can do it because you have to have the genetics, and also some people are disabled. And also I read a study that said that I care for a family of 16, so it doesn't time it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I don't care. I don't think you need the
just stay the way you is
to
then,
look
bro.
good in clothes. But even if you do, cool. You win. Now what? What do you want to happen here? You're looking for reasons to believe that you can never look good and that life is stacked up against you and the world is not fair and you're just meant to be miserable. Okay, great.
Nah,
so
facts.
what are we talking about then? Be happy or don't. But if you're not going to, don't act like it's other people's fault. I didn't do this. You can still wash your face, smell nice, treat people well, learn to be funny, and find pants that fit even if you're not in shape. They make pants in so many different sizes. But if you wake up every day and think that you're just cursed to always be miserable, then I guess you're right. That's such a weird way to live life. You're not a Disney character.
It's just for people who don't want to try, bruh.
Rip, man. When was the last time you saw a rainbow or natural sunlight for more than 30 minutes? There are more productive things we can be doing with our lives than convincing ourselves that we were never meant to enjoy it. Nobody wins here. But even if you were to put in the work to get jacked, you couldn't just sit there waiting for the day you were finally fit before you started caring for yourself. You would need to do that the whole time, because getting in really good shape takes a long time. Years. I've been going to the gym for 3 years. You couldn't tell? Yeah, I know. I'm still working on it. Shut up. And you can't just be miserable.
3 years, you should be good, bro. If you can't get it done within like a year, then yeah, you need to reassess your workout routine.
Well, that whole time. You have to start.
But if you don't see any changes in your body by like 6 months, bro, like come on, cuz.
Care of yourself as part of the transformation.
You're doing a lot, but you're not doing a lot of the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
Even though you don't have the perfect body yet, you still need to be doing things like washing your face, finding a shampoo that doesn't also triple as conditioner, motor oil, and shower cleaner. And don't make me say it
3 in
again.
1.
Find some pants that fit.
But I can't be happy.
Yet, despite all of this, it still might be hard for some to accept that they don't have to be mad that they're mid in the face. If you listen to some of the podcasts, read the forums, or watch the videos, I don't recommend it. But if you did, you may notice that after a while, it seems that these guys are almost looking for reasons to be upset. It's almost as if they want to believe there's no hope unless they change their looks. But why would a person want to stay miserable when they could just be happy instead. Psychology Today provided a number of reasons as to why a miserable
It's
person
comfortable.
would want to stay miserable. So, for example,
They're used to it.
deep-rooted insecurity or lack of self-esteem may cause some people to feel undeserving of happiness. Or people who grew up with a parenting style characterized by excessive discipline and unrealistic expectations may have learned to equate unhappiness with love and success. It also mentions things about how a person might pride themselves on realism, believing that being practical also means focusing on the negative, fearing that positive feelings might be a setup for disappointment, and there's a few others. Misery just feels like it has much more depth than happier emotions. Think of all those tropes of the troubled artist or the misunderstood bad boy. They're so cool. Danish philosopher Soren Kierkegaard? My fault. He once wrote, "In addition to my other numerous acquaintances, I have one more intimate confidant. My depression is the most faithful mistress I have known. No wonder then, I return the love."
Golly.
Unfortunately, yeah, that's a bar. And do you think he could have written that if he was happy? I don't think so. Is it bad that he was depressed? Sure. But my Instagram story highlights aren't going to be complaining when I steal that quote. So really, you take your good with your bad. When I was a teenager, I wanted to be a depressed artist so badly. There was a phase in middle school where I would write poems about how badly I felt I was treated. And then when I was in the cafeteria with my friends, I would put my head down, leave the poem in front of me, and then I would wait for
Come on, bruh.
them to read it and then feel bad for me.
That's next level, but I'm glad you know that now, bruh.
And they would see like how angsty I was. And
you should have did that with some hoes, bruh. You might have got farther, but with your homies, they don't care, cuz they might rip the paper up and throw it at your head. You good? Eat your lunch now, boy.
I had reason to be sad, kind of. I mean, I didn't have many friends. I was overweight. I smelled bad. But most of those things were things I could have fixed. Yeah, but that sounds like a lot of work. I'll be happy later. It's what I said for the next 5 years. But you get addicted to this feeling of being sad, and it gives you this really weird superiority complex. Being happy is for simple-minded fools who have nothing to ponder over on a daily basis. I'm different. I'm an intellectual. I am burdened on the inside. You don't know my pains. When I was in 7th grade, I was once gifted a stick of deodorant from a friend.
That's OD.
And they weren't even being mean. They were just genuinely concerned and wanted to help.
Yeah. That's tough, bruh. That's tough, my guy. W edits, man. W edits. But that is OD. Smelling bad, bro, that's the one thing you could just fix right away. Just hop in the shower one time. You don't have to stink, bro. That's a choice. Nah, you good, man. You good. You good.
For it, that kind of fine. You think to yourself.
Oh, all right. There we go.
Yeah, but that's fine. You think to yourself, when bad experiences like that happen, there was some sort of reason for it that kind of justifies it and actually makes it a good thing. Especially when you're a creative. You'd save bad experiences and you hope that they can be implemented into your art in some way. Every bad thing that happens to me nowadays is essentially just a joke for a video waiting to be made. So honestly, I can't lose. I've been sitting on that deodorant thing for the past 8 years. But it's fine because I just used it as a joke in a video and we were laughing at it. So it's totally fine and okay that I had that experience. It's totally cool that I had such a tender experience at such a crucial age for mental and emotional development. It's totally fine. As Ali Sunvia once said while quoting a different guy.
In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, he writes, "In some way, suffering ceases to be suffering at the moment it finds a meaning, such as the meaning of sacrifice. That is why man is even ready to suffer on the condition, to be sure, that his suffering has a meaning."
But that doesn't
Yo,
make
bro, I gotta come up with a quote, bro. Like, these Jones be tough. I ain't gonna lie. I need that dash by my name, bro. And they just like, yo, who this boy? And then I just look mad swab in the pic. That's the reason why you gotta get your style up and get fit for real. Because if you look chopped in the pic, they probably not gonna care about you. As long as that quote fire and you look good, bro, yeah. You cemented, bro. They don't gotta know nothing else about you. They just gonna steal your quote, and now I guess you do get left in the abyss. But they gonna use your quote though, so some of you is gonna live on. Hey, at least you got that.
Good. Just because there was a reason for it doesn't mean that it was right that you had to suffer that. You could have been happy. And happiness isn't weak or shallow or lame. It's nice. Why shouldn't you strive to be happy?
Sometimes I can't help but wonder, what would my preteen years have been like if I didn't go out of my way to induce sadness?
What good does it do you to believe that the world is against you because of your looks? Because even if you're right and your suffering has meaning now, you're still suffering. Is that fun for you?
For some people it is.
I get it. Misery means you're a victim and you don't have to try, and that's so much easier because now I can pin the blame on everyone else. This is your fault. Besides, happiness is a temporary feeling, and it can be terrifying. I read somewhere earlier this week that if you build your entire personality around being miserable, finally being happy can feel like you're losing yourself.
That's crazy.
But maybe that's a good thing. I'm not making this video to say looks don't matter at all and we should be doing nothing to try and make ourselves look better. Nor am I saying I would never try some of the safe looksmaxxing tips I found while researching this video. Things like skincare and workout routines, and I don't know. People say mewing works. I don't know that the science really does, but maybe, I don't know. I'm not saying that because at the end of the day, look at these guys. They look great. My point is there's too much emphasis on the external without much work being done to make sure the internal matches. Every time I do my unnecessarily long skincare routine and I'm staring at myself in the mirror for a couple of minutes, I'm thinking, did I put this much effort into trying to become a better person today? If I'm gonna put all this effort into trying to make my face look pretty, even though, again, it's not really doing all that much, am I investing an equal or greater amount of time to try and change who I am for the better, which is gonna do a lot more for me in the long run? You wanna know what sucks? This hasn't fixed me. Usually I'll make a video and then at least for a few weeks, I'll be a better person. I don't need a relationship. I'm only gonna listen to music at low volumes. I'm not gonna procrastinate on my homework anymore. And then I'll go back to eventually wondering if I'll ever find love while blasting Malcolm Todd at max volume, knowing that I have a homework assignment due in the next 2 hours and I don't care. But at least for those topics, I changed a little. But I'm still actively comparing and rating people in my head and staring at myself in the mirror and making sure that everything looks right, even though there's nothing I can do to really change it overall. I know it's wrong, but it's second nature and it's gonna take a while until I can fully turn that part of my brain off. Something I'm trying to ingrain in my head in the meantime is that
I don't know if you fully can, gang, but you could definitely, because at the end of the day, you always do got the choice, but the voice will definitely get, that joint going to get lower. It will get lower.
people's approval is about
if you just keep moving how you know you need to move, yeah, it's going to get lower. I don't know if it goes away entirely, but it'll go down.
Valuable as a chocolate bar. I like chocolate bars. Would I sacrifice everything I am and spend all my time and effort just to get a chocolate bar? No. It feels good to be acknowledged by people. Are you listening to me, David? I deserve better than this. I'm sick of this, Catherine. It's every day with you. For once in my life, I would like to just come home to a little bit of peace and quiet. Is that so much to ask? Sometimes I forget why I ever married a woman like you. Wow, those pants look great.
Wow.
Did you thrift those? Oh yeah, that's why. Yeah, they're Goodwill. But there are more important things in life, and I don't want to compare myself to other people anymore. Because if I'm saying that I'm better than someone, that means that there is someone who is better than me. And I don't want to live like that anymore. There are a lot more interesting ways to impress people. Case in point, I still don't get juggling. How do people do that? If I had to end this video with some cheesy message about how everyone is pretty in their own unique way, I mean, I guess I would do something where I show pictures of models.
And I'm insecure because I have to think about what I look like every day. You just need to meet a group of models because they have the thinnest thighs and the shiniest hair and the coolest clothes, and they're the most physically insecure women probably on the planet.
I would match them in with clips of photos of normal, everyday people, and the beauty of humanity.
Wholesome, man.
And I talk about how ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be beautiful. I wish I'd known then what I know now. That I always was.
That's hard. Okay.
Or yeah, you know, something like that. Bye.
Okay, boy, that vid was tough, gang. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's tough. That was hard, bro. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't think I could end it on nothing better than he already did. He said, I spent my whole life wishing I was beautiful. That I failed to realize I already was. I ain't gonna lie, that's hard, bro, because yeah, You can't change the base of how you look. You can make it better. You can max it to however you want to look, which of course you should do that. But what is more important, the things that you can control, is the internal. And in turn, controlling those things, the external starts to matter to you a lot less. And you start to take pride in the actual things that you had control over, not your looks, because oftentimes you don't have control over how you look. The race you is, you know what I'm saying, how big the yam on your face is, like stuff like that. You can't change it. So stop commenting that joint on my vids, but I know y'all gonna do what y'all do. But literally, bro, take pride in the things that you can change. Take pride in the person that you are, because that's literally who you built yourself up to be, bro. And realize that everybody is beautiful in their own way. I know I ended it a little cheesy, but that's how we gonna end it, you know what I'm saying? W vid by David. Shout out my dog David the Chew. That was a fire vid, bro. Shout out, bro. If y'all enjoyed it, make sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all watching. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Love y'all. Peace.